Welcome back. I hope you're having an awesome time here at RETCON so far. Our next speaker is Paige Pitcher, the Director of Innovation at Hines. Please join me in welcoming Paige to our virtual stage.
Great, thanks for the introduction and delighted to join you guys, at least virtually. During 2020, I think we're spending perhaps even more time indoors than ever before. Starting about 20,000 years ago, humans started building shelters. And ever since then, we've been an indoor species. There is no natural habitat for humans. It's a building. And since where you're born is a better determinant of human health than even biology or genetics, it's no wonder that we're turning to the built environment for answers about our well-being. Wellness is now a $4.2 trillion industry, making it roughly half of the world's health spending. The US itself almost doubles the spending of its peers on healthcare, which is about 17 to 18% of GDP. Companies themselves spend upwards of $14,000 to $20,000 per year employee in the United States on healthcare costs. And as we look at how health and wellness is linked directly to real estate, I think it's important that we get some of these definitions right between health and wellness. Joe Allen and John Macomber's new book that was released auspiciously in the year 2020, Healthy Buildings, tackled this definition in the first chapter. Health being the state of being free from illness or injury versus wellness. And the World Health Organization's definition, it's fantastic. A state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Think of this holistic state of vitality, of balance, belonging, and happiness. And outside the US, we're seeing pioneering small governments incorporating wellness into how they measure their country's success. This small collection of countries are leading the way. New Zealand, Costa Rica, United Arab Emirates, and Bhutan are measuring well-being and happiness. 2019, New Zealand founded the Well-Being Budget that will address mental health and well-being for the country. And Bhutan, years earlier, has started measuring gross national happiness in place of GDP. Larger countries are starting to follow the trend, attempting to go beyond health and wellness and tackling bigger issues. But why the recent obsession with health and wellness over the last few decades seems like it's only accelerated and become more popular culture. We need to look no further than the birth rate. Economic and policy changes regarding health and wellness are not just the evolution of consciousness or science, it's rooted in demographic bedrock. Dennis Frenchman, the previous director of the MIT Center for Real Estate, is quoted in saying that it's because of the two largest generations in the US that are focused on health from two totally different perspectives to which we can attribute this growing change. Baby boomers, 7.16 million people of an aging population that want to stay in their homes, that view aging as a process, not a diagnosis that needs to be solved. No longer do they want to just survive or live longer, they want to thrive, be well, healthy, travel. Millennials, the second and now larger cohort, 72.1 million people, prioritize experiences over things. They're keenly interested in a well-being lifestyle, prioritizing diet, self-care, exercise, and sustainability. Many may attribute this to their woefully self-centered ways, but they're also searching for ways to optimize their health, increase their happiness, their quality of life, and change the world for the better. Wellness also has its roots in sustainability, not just demographics. Starting back in the early 90s, where LEED and other green building movements had come out of the oil crises. The USGBC was founded in 1993, and 5 years later, they released their first LEED standard. Within the first few years of life, it seemed like there was incredible adoption for LEED projects, registering nearly 3,000 in the first 7 years. And fast forward a little bit to a new standard, the WELL standard, and the International Well Building Institute, founded in 2013. And just 6 months later, the WELL version 1 building standard was released. 2020 has seen nearly 5,000 well projects registered, probably by the time you hear this talk, over 65 countries. That growth rate is 88% faster than the adoption of LEED. And I think there's a good reason for it. The pace of wellness adoption is accelerating, I would argue, because there are more people than properties than there are on the planet. The Global Wellness Institute estimates that healthy buildings, though, are indeed a large market. It's about $134 billion, expanding at a rate of about 6% a year, and projected to be $180 billion by the year 2022. So it's growing at a rate roughly double than the global economy. And I predict that the great accelerator, known as COVID-19 crisis, That growth rate is probably pretty modest. But this is something that we've all seen before. Wellness amenities within the residential space have become a key feature of our differentiation, tailored to address market segments, population, and even location. It's not enough, though, to have amenities, wellness bars, outside gyms, planted terraces, pet areas, and restorative spaces. The bar has been raised, and we're now looking into infrared saunas, cold storage for groceries, occupancy and air quality sensors, circadian lighting, and energizing mirrors. And our buildings are being asked to do more and more, not just the amenities. We recognize the interdependent relationship between the individual and the impact of their physical surroundings. And with this third wave of lockdowns sweeping much of the globe, it has called into question how human habitat supports health and defends against illness, and what we're doing as stewards of human health and the built environment. This is how we've all become healthcare providers, in a way. We're being asked really tough questions as all life has returned home for the time being. Things that we once pursued as convenience are now critical to live during the pandemic. We're talking about touchless access, better air quality, the ability to get outside and work out, some simple elements of living and working at home. Work has returned home for many forever, or for the time being. Flexibility and work from home make us consider different things that we've never considered before: the acoustics, ergonomics, the mental toll of being a caretaker, or your children's education. We're getting asked tough questions about air change rates and antimicrobial materials. Our occupants are being blasted by products and misinformation on late night television advertisements and on the internet, and it's time to step in. One of the outfits leading the change here, and the research that's supporting informed decision-making for the era of COVID and beyond, when it relates to human health and well-being, is the Well Living Lab. This is a Delos and Mayo Clinic collaboration, and headquartered in Rochester, Minnesota. They've been doing some really cutting-edge research for years, and one of the first laboratories totally dedicated to human health in the built environment. They've done several studies over the past few years, and they have nearly 8 to 10 PhDs working on our staff at any given time. And they've scrapped their typical research agenda for 2020 to align what they know about the built environment with what they can study about COVID-19. We're really looking forward to more research coming out from them starting in 2021 on air quality, surfaces, and materials, and human behavior. Because we understand that wellness is the new wealth, and that customers expect their built environment to contribute to their well-being. They want buildings to protect them from pollution, from biological threats. They want buildings to contribute to a healthy lifestyle, designs and services that can enhance their sleep, heart health, social well-being, and even productivity. Adaptive environments through smart and biomaterials can help people hack their physical and mental well-being and help optimize the human body. And I think that's what's next for wellness. That's tech meets human behavior, and it starts at home. We have watches that monitor our heartbeats. We can make payments with our faces. And this hyper-personalization of information and technology is pervading the home and also multifamily properties. Institutions like the Well Living Lab and other research outfits the world over are helping us gain a better understanding of what we can do now and ongoing to help support more health and wellness inside of our buildings. That I believe that wellness is the new wealth, and that our customers expect this from us, that they expect the built environment to contribute to their well-being. They want buildings and our operation of them to protect them from not just pollution or bad materials, but also biological threats. They want their buildings to contribute to a healthy lifestyle, designs and services to enhance their sleep, their heart health, and even their social well-being and productivity. Adaptive environments through smart or biomaterials can help them gain better insights into their human body and how it's working. So many of those changes for the multifamily sector may occur at the building level when it comes to systems and treatment, but many of those changes are also deeply personal. And so there's an aspect of health and wellness and being a healthcare provider as a building owner, operator, or service provider that is part of the personal responsibility piece. I'm struck by a quote by Dr. Veronique Roger from the Mayo Clinic. And as a cardiologist, she says that oftentimes some of the most difficult parts of her job is not the science or the treatment of heart disease, but it's the personal and profound change that is required to be a healthier human being. And so I know we all take our charge seriously, and given the deep responsibility we have to take care of the 90% of the time we spend indoors, to be better healthcare providers to our fellow human beings. We take this as seriously as maybe with a Hippocratic Oath. But I hope that you take this information forward and reimagine your role in the living sector and in the built environment as that of a healthcare professional. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige. Thank you for sharing your insights with us. That was awesome. The audience is giving you a big virtual round of applause. All right, if you're looking for your next session, you can go ahead and check out your agenda to see where you're going next. Check out our sponsors' virtual booths, or do some virtual networking with your peers. Thanks so much, and we'll see you around.